brother Swami Sarvasthanandaji, and dear devotees and my dear children. Swami Sarvasthanandaji informed us in the morning how we were supposed to come for the inauguration of the unveiling of the statue of Sister Nivedita at this time. And due to some technical reason, that function was postponed to a later date, which will be announced later. So, at our coming, he took the opportunity to create a beautiful retreat today. So I'm very happy and thankful to him for arranging this retreat. Because of this, I'm able to meet many devotees of the London Vedanta Center. And I'm happy also to be talking to all of you intermittently. It has been a nice experience for me. Because of that, he asked me whether I can speak on Sister Nivedita. I said, of course, we shall be blessed to remember a person who was a disciple of the great Swami Vivekananda. How many times you think of them, and that many times our mind gets strained, our mind gets information. The same information you knew, you have read, and this I am going to tell you, and you are going to listen 10 times. That is even more better, because in our mind, how the ideas get imprinted, creating a groove in our thought force, and it becomes very strong. That's why we say in Mahabharata, Ramayana stories, we listen again and again. We have no problem in listening 10 times, 20 times. Even now, in YouTube, a beautiful Ramayana statement comes, then I listen to it. Same thing I listened long years back. But when you listen to that story and listen to that idea goes into the brain and makes a groove, and it stays there. What was there cannot be now obliterated, cannot be removed. It gets stronger. So the life of Nivedita is one such beautiful life. A life, in one sentence, her whole life has been put in a gist form, where she died in Darjeeling in India. There is a place where her remains are kept, and there is a board which says, "Here remains Sister Nivedita, who gave her all to India." This is a very wonderful statement. Who gave her all? What all she had, and everything she gave for the benefit of India. So such a great life. Indians are obliged to remember her, I tell you. Though she was born in Ireland and she had that Celtic blood, and she was such a dynamo, and grew up in London, and she went to India and served the Indian people. Something we have never heard about that. You see, you serve your own country in an exemplary manner, that is welcomed, no problem. But you go to some other country and serve that countryman, that country, with all your heart and soul, is something unheard of. We find later days, I will tell you, Sister Nivedita, the way she served in her times was entirely, repeated by Mother Teresa. She also came as a foreign lady and stayed in India and became one with the Indians. Likewise, you find a very few people who can go to a foreign country and spend their time, energy, money and all the facilities of their own countries, forgetting those facilities and going and taking up such responsibilities. It is something strange. That's why, as Indians, when we think of Nivedita, we are really exhilarated. I tell you, whenever we think about Nivedita, we are simply taken over by the emotion that comes when we see her actions. It was not just a mere going there and serving. There are many other people also came to India in those days in 1800. They came and they went back. And one of the pastors who came to India and served for a few years and went back and met Nivedita's dad. And Nivedita at that time was hardly 5 or 6 years old. And when he went to their home and met their father, and both were talking to each other about their experiences of pastoring, and his eyes came and struck with this girl, and he found what a girl she is. She was a dynamo of power. And in that age, 5 years age, she was so dramatically, she was so wonderful in that way, that energy that he saw. And he told her father, this girl has got a great future. And you see slowly we find in Nivedita's life that she was born in Ireland, and Swamiji says that I want someone like you. Now someone like you is not available for Nivedita. Where she will go and search for someone like her? She said, I myself know me. This is a beautiful story in Bhagavatam. We find Manu's wife is doing tapasya, austerities, to Lord Hari. And she is doing tapasya to have darshan of Hari. After darshan of Hari, every time the devotee would like to ask some boon. She has got also a boon. What was that boon? She wants Hari to be born as her son in the next birth. She is not asking for the end of the birth, mind you. She wants to take birth, but she wants to be the mother of Lord himself. And when the Lord appeared before her, Lord said, ask me, what do you want? She said, you are Antaryami, you know everything, what I am doing for this tapasya. So fulfill my desire. That is what I want. Said, nothing doing. You have to tell me. Put it in words and give it to me. You may have some, in offices you must have experienced this. You must have told your boss that I have got this much difficulty, so I want to go. He will say, no, put it in writing. Then I will see. The same thing happened with the Lord. Lord said, you verbalize your desire. Tell me. Then she is thinking in her mind, oh, I have to verbalize now. Verbalizing the desire is always beset with the danger of misrepresenting. You may have one thing thought about, and then you want to verbalize that. When you start writing down your desires, it cannot be exactly what you want. Because the words have got certain limitations. Thought has got no limitation. Thought is pure form. But when you make it gross, when you make it physical, then what happens? The limitations of vak comes into there. And then you get into problems. And you may mispronounce. You may wanted to tell something and you might have missed one word. And that would have given the meaning completely different. And Lord is going to say Tathastu. And what will happen? So you will not get what you want. So she was very hesitant. But Lord Hari said, no, you must ask. Then she is thinking in her mind, if I tell Lord, you must be born to me as my son. Whether, is it proper? Where is Lord and where is me? I am a mere human being and I am going to pray to Him that Lord should be born to me, and Lord is infinite. And that infinite great Lord, how is He going to accept my demand? He may just reject it. So she says, Lord, I want you to be born as my son. I want to be your mother. If that is not possible, at least for a few minutes, allow that. See, she was doubting her own intellect. When you verbalize, this is what happens. If she has thought of merely, it is no problem. Lord must be born to me as my son. Very good. There was no conditions left. But when she started telling it, the conditions came there. And you know what happened to Jashoda. She gave birth to Krishna, but a few minutes only she had to keep. And he went away. Devaki. So Devaki went away. So Devaki got Lord Krishna as her son, no doubt. But then, because she told, if that is not possible, what is not possible? Kaushalya's in previous birth, in Ramayana we see, she was also praying to Lord, oh Lord Hari, you must be born to me as my son. And there also Lord, when Lord took birth at Kaushalya's womb, Lord appears as Vishnu, as Mahavishnu, but then small baby size. But Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, he is appeared before her. And Kaushalya seeing that, stunned. Oh Lord, if you are like this, how I am going to feed you? I want a small child so that I can give feeding to you. Then Lord smiles, and and then he explains to her her previous birth and how he took the form. So when you start telling that Lord must come to me, then if it is a thought level, it is purest form. And when you bring it in the words, then something or other happens. But you think of this as a Lord's grace. So this is what happened. Sister Nivedita, she was born into a family. And her mother was a great devotee of Jesus Christ, because they were belonging to a Protestant family. They were not Catholic, they were staying in Ireland. But Ireland, maximum or majority is Catholic population. But they were Protestants and they were staying there. And then, even today we couldn't find out exactly which house she was born. But we have found out the street where she was born. So in one of the buildings, we have put that blue plaque, which is very popular here. So blue plaque we have given there. As this road, Sister Nivedita was born. But we are still, the search is going on for the exact house where she was born. Some letters, some type of documents we are searching for. And then she was treated to that best Christian tradition that can be given to her. A baby is born in a family, and then a baby grows, and whose responsibility to give the child all the tradition of your family? It is the parents. And I tell you, in the modern days, parents' dereliction of duty in passing on the next generation, passing on to the next generation what you have received from your parents. It is very important that you have to transfer. That's why when children are growing up and you feel completely cut off from the tradition in some families you see, the culprit is the parents. They have not told them. They don't have a small Thakur girl, where you can put some good pictures of gods and goddesses. And they are not telling the children, hey, go and make pranam. And when the child becomes big and he doesn't take interest in any of the tradition, and then whom you are going to blame? This happens. So our past, the connection with the past must be kept up. You find in Sister Nivedita's life, her Irish connection, that Celtic blood, that was really visible to Swamiji's eyes, and she kept up the connection with her past. And because she heard all those stories of the pagans, before Christianity came into Ireland, and the existence, religious practices were all condemned by the Christians, and they were telling this is all pagan worship. Even now those places are still there. And when you go there, we find most striking resemblance to our practices. The caves where monks used to sit and meditate. You can see those caves. And you can see those places where some of the practices like Mount Tara. The very first day I reached Dublin, somebody told me, very nearby there is a Mount Tara. Tara? I said, oh, Ma Kali's name, Tara. I said, I want to visit that. Let us go there. And we went there and saw Mount Tara. So you find that some names are also very similar to our Hindu names. And there are a lot of practices which are called pagan worship. But then they are all very similar to our practices of the ancient time. Now, what the difference between her Irish connection and our own Indian connection is, we do not take pride in our past. Unfortunately, Indians have lost their pride in their past. If you have left that pride in your past, you cannot continue as one country. One example I will give you regarding this. Sister Nivedita was very strong that India was one country. It cannot be separated. Lord Curzon separated West Bengal and East Bengal. She was dead against that. She knew Lord Curzon. She could go and speak to him. And it happened one day in one university, that is Calcutta University, there was a graduation program. So Lord Curzon was invited and he came and sat. And he looked, because Governor General has come, so everybody was there in attendance, and very huge meeting. All the students were ready to receive their graduation. And the graduation speech was given by Lord Curzon. And during the speech, Nivedita also attended. She was also invited, and most of the white or the British functions, etc., Nivedita would be there. She was invited, so she would go there. She was sitting there and looking at Lord Curzon, what is he telling? And he's telling so many things. One of the things he said was terribly upset Nivedita. What did he say? He praised Western concept over the Indian concept. He said the adherence to the truth that was seen in the Western world is much more stronger than seen in the Indian world. And big learned people of Bengal were sitting there. None could raise their voice. The program ended. Governor General went away. Sister Nivedita took the Vice Chancellor. Come with me to the library. And she took him to the library. There was a book written by Lord Curzon regarding his experience in the Southeast Asia. When he went to Southeast Asia, to the Korean embassy, foreign office, as they used to call in those days. Now we say passport office. So the foreign office, he has given a statement. And the statement says that he says his pride is exhibited in that book. He says, I duped these people. I gave wrong information to them about my marriage. And I got visa to go to that place. And so he is enjoying that he deceived them. That means truth was not there. Where was the truth? And he is telling, and Western adherence to the truth is much better than Indians. How can he say that? And India is anybody done like that? And it was in India only Ramchandra was born, who stood for truth. And there are so many cases, Harishchandra. You see, if you go into the past, so many people were there. And this type of truth, and he himself says that I have lied there. So, and she had a friend, the editor of Statesman, Mr. Radcliffe. He was a British man and he was friend to Nivedita. Nivedita gave that to him and said, put it in the newspaper. And next day, the newspapers came out against Governor General. Governor General became terribly upset with Nivedita, but what he can do? This is the truth actually. So they could do anything. And she fired that vice chancellor, telling him how you people sat there quietly, not telling anything against his views. Wherever she went, this is what she was telling. Take pride in your past. If you don't have that pride in your past, you have no place to stand, put your feet to stand. How are you going to stand? This is a big question that has been coming there. One learned gentleman came to Nivedita and said, do you know, sister, you are talking about the Indian independence, etc. But without British, we would not have had this oneness of this big country. The country became a nation because of British rulers. She said what they did, they brought post office. Even the tiniest village, you will find a post office there. Post office united India. And railways, the biggest railway in the world is India. And that railway is united India. How many people could move around from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Kutch to Calcutta? You can go anywhere. Because of railways, India became a nation. It was a country, no doubt. But it became a nation because of this. One by one he started telling. She said, stop. You do not know your history. Before Britishers came, do you think there was nobody here? Do you think there were no rulers here? And before British came, was not Shiva worshipped in Kashmir? And the Shiva has the same temple in Rameshwaram? How can he say that this was not a nation? And she started telling him, to consider the nationhood, you require 3 items. One is the land, the mati. The land must be there. If you give away your land to the outsiders, if you give away land to others who come and take away your land, then the nationhood cannot survive. The land must be there. And then love for the people who live in the land. We talk about patriotism. You know, we say that 1 inch we shall not give to China. Like that some people say, 1 inch they will not part with. Very good idea. Patriotic. I am bound to my countries, so I am patriotic. But the patriotism is not only in not giving the 1 inch land, but in that rest of the inches of land, the people who are staying, do you have any feeling for them? Do you feel? The question is raised by Swamiji again and again. A beautiful paragraph it is. Do you feel for those people who have downtrodden, who have become fallen? He is asking so many questions. And then he says, if you have the feeling for your people, then that is the first step in patriotism. And now he is going to say second and third, etc. But we find amongst ourselves, we will find that even we do not have even gone into the first step of patriotism. Because we don't feel. In South Africa, when I used to do the satsangs to our congregations, and that is the same word I am using because I am in Ireland, you see, same word I am using. So our satsang premise, so I used to say that you are sitting in your house, sitting on a sofa, and you are enjoying ice cream. For instance, just imagine one day you are having nice ice cream, friends have come, you are all sitting there enjoying the television show. Suddenly the news comes. So the news has started rolling, and you find in Bhopal there is a danger, there is a railway accident, 46 people dead. You have the news flash, and the dead bodies are being thrown out and taken out from the railway compartments. And one by one they take, and then they take and try to recover. But the bodies are dead. You cannot do anything. And they keep separate. This scene is being photographed and videoed, and you are sitting there. I asked my congregation, would you be tasting the ice cream when you are seeing a sad, depressive features? Will you be able to eat ice cream? Will you be able to enjoy ice cream? You can't. If you can't, then you have a feeling. If you do that, that means you think as only news, and that doesn't have any impact on your mind. That means you have no feeling. You have not gone into the first step of patriots. I tell you, you are all living in this country, UK. It's a great Britain. The greatness of Britain, where it lies. Have you ever thought about that? It is not merely a conglomeration of different nations. Here England, here Wales, here Scotland, here Northern Ireland, put together Great Britain. It's not merely that area-oriented greatness that this Britain has got. It was only Swami Vivekananda who taught us what is this greatness of the Great Britain. He says, a few people, lesser than area of Kerala, one state in India, could rule all over the world. What greatness they had. He asks us, and he gives the discipline the Britishers have. And with that, they could rule all over the world. And Britishers used to tell in those days, sun never sets in our kingdom. Because from east to west, any country you take up, they were all under British rule. So sun is setting somewhere else, and wherever it sets, it is a British country. So sun never sets in our country. That was the greatest claim of them at the time. So the greatness of the country, where you live, do we understand that and associate with that wonderful idea? Indians during that time, the 1800, I tell you, and 1900 beginning, that is 20th century beginning, we were not aware of our greatness. And it was Swamiji's greatest desperate feeling that, and he was feeling very bad, that our Indians do not know our history. So he told her, come with me, travel with me, I will take you to places where North India. He took her in that group, she was also there. And he took her, and wherever the train would stop, wherever he would see through the train windows, and he would immediately tell the history about that. Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Rishikesh and Kashmir, all those places, history used to tell how the great warriors were there. Chittor Rani Padmini's story, we hear full story in Nivedita's writings, because she heard from Swamiji. Swamiji used to inspire her by telling our past. And it was simply stunning to learn that she was the first person to write a children's book, Cradle Tales of Hinduism, meant for children, but actually meant for their parents, so that they can read and tell the children what is the story. Such a beautiful book she wrote, Cradle Tales of Hinduism. If you don't have in your home, please purchase from here and take it and read it one by one chapter. You know what greatest the men and women were born in that land, which is called Bharat. The very name given to it, it simply inspires you, Bharat. Bha means effulgence, light. Jyoti is called Bha. Rat means immersed. It is full of light. There is no darkness. And there our country fell into the hands of the foreigners, and it was full of darkness. And when Swamiji came, he couldn't accept that. This country has to be taken out from its mired, these meshy things. How do you take it out? If a bird has to fly, Should it not fly with two wings? If it has got one wing, can it fly? Swamiji posed this question. And he found out the solution. If the society has to progress, it must have two wings of a bird, healthy, ready to fly and vigorous. That one wing is men, the other wing is women. Both have to be raised. And to men, raising of men can be done through many ways. But can you raise the women? Just imagine in those times how women were treated in India. They were nothing but a simple slave, baby-making machines, that's all. Nothing else was shown to them, given to them. Our four mothers who were there in those times, how much difficulties they had. They couldn't express anything. Nowadays we are talking about empowerment and then equality, etc., etc. We are talking, but then still, even though we have not given that equality to women, there is always some type of discrimination being done in many of the countries and many of the societies. And Swamiji foresaw that unless if India gives this equality and equal chances, opportunities for their upliftment, it is not possible for the nation to rise. Now he saw before his very eyes how Holy Mother could not go into school and study. And the elders there, along with her, they said, why you want to go to school and study? No, you should not study, you should not go to school. What is the reason? If you study, you grow up and will read novels. Reading novels is bad, you know. So what is the use of studying? So you should not study. Likewise, they put stop to her. And women were not allowed to go. And one of the important great man of Bengal was Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. And we are indebted to him also. As one person, he promoted women's education, girls' education. And actually the education itself was promoted by him in such a way. All alone, he established all over Bengal, that is undivided Bengal, about more than 250 schools, kindergarten schools he started. Such a great man was there. And then the women were not allowed in many of the schools. So Swamiji said, Nivedita, I want you to take up the women's education in this country. What you can do? She said, I will start a school. Is it easy? No. The day she called all the devotees and announced that she is going to start a school, everybody, the report says, everyone in that meeting kept quiet. None spoke. And sister was so overwhelmed by her emotion that she wanted to do something for the Indian society. So she was in different world. She didn't notice in the corner of the room, Swamiji came and quietly sat. She didn't notice. And suddenly her eyes turned and she was stunned. Her guru is sitting there quietly. And then she made pranam to him. Swamiji stood up and looked at everyone. Nobody is telling her, yes, I will send my daughter to your school. None opened his mouth. That was the situation. Swamiji stood up and said, I am commanding to every one of you, send your daughters to Nivedita school. And Swamiji had to say, send your daughters to the school. When she used to go and plead to the parents of the society in Bagh Bazar area, and those elders, the parents, they were afraid to send their daughters to her school. They thought, she is a foreign woman. You know, the society did not accept her at that time. And Swamiji knew that, how he understood 100%, of the Indian society's movements. And he knew that she is very, very difficult for the society to accept her because they were steeped in the conservatism, in the tradition Why a woman should go to a school? Why a girl should go to a school? That is the question. And then she knew. That's why he brought her to Holy Mother. And when Holy Mother received her and made her sit in the same cot where she sleeps, and Swamiji was standing down below, and he was, you can't express what joy he had. He said, my mother has accepted her. He was so full of joy. And because mother accepted her, and he used to take her to see mother at that time, come with me. And she would go up and sit with mother and talk to her. And mother had extraordinary love for this girl. And only one person, mother used to call Kuki. In Bengali, Kuki means small child. So this child can be called Kuki. So like the Kuki, and that word she used for Nivedita, and mother used to love her so much. And Nivedita also had such extraordinary understanding about Holy Mother. Swamiji writes to Shivananda, my dear brother, none of you have understood the significance of the advent of Holy Mother. He is accusing them. And he is telling to her, Holy Mother comes exactly, she represents the ancient tradition of India. At the same time, what is going to come in the future, she is representing now. And mother is telling the devotees, send your daughters. When they used to come and make pranam and eat only khichdi and go away, no, nothing to eat. She would ask them, is your child going to school? Then mother would say, no, she is already 10-year-old. How can I send her to school? In 2 years she will become big and we cannot send her. Then mother would say, no, send her to Nivedita school. And mother came and inaugurated the school. Even now it is a huge campus now. Sister Nivedita Girls High School in Bagbazar. When you go there, you please go there. Not Bagbazar, what is that? Bospara Lane? Bagbazar, yes. Yes. Bospara Lane, yes. And it's such a wonderful way that mother encouraged her to do this work. And then Nivedita became friends with many people. And because she was British, she had a sort of, I should say, freedom, free movement in the British circle also. Some of the parties, where they call, and some birthday party or some literary party, etc., she would go there and attend. And in that way, she started getting friendship of some of the British people. And that's how she could procure the freedom of Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo was about to be arrested. And once Britishers get him finished, he would be sent to Andaman, that's all. Or he would be sent to gallows. That was the time when she went and told Aurobindo. Aurobindo's wife was very close to Nivedita. And he told Aurobindo, get away from here, from the British land, and go to French place, Puducherry, Pondicherry, and stay there. Unless we say everything is clear, don't come out from there. And she saved his life. But do you think that's a great service to the nation? Yes. By sending Aurobindo to Pondicherry, we have Rishi Aurobindo today. It was there he wrote, writing after writings. His complete works are there. If you are interested, you can read. But his English is that old type of English. One paragraph, one sentence. If you have got patience, you can read that. Such a beautiful English. And his poems are so exhilarating. I was trying to read Savitri, his poem. And even 2-3 stanzas I read, I said, what a wonderful poem. Then I said, it is unputdownable. That's what they say, unputdownable. Once you start reading it, so beautiful. From where you got? It was the given gift of Nivedita, that you got Rishi Aurobindo. What a wonderful work she did. I am coming to her personal life where she showed the love for India. One place she went to North India near Lahore, At that time, Lahore was in India, She went to Lahore, and there was a big, some mela or something like that in a big Maidan. She was traveling by a cart. She asked the cart to be stopped. She got down and she started walking towards that Maidan. And then all Indians are gathered there. All people were there, all the Indian local people. They were all there in their different dresses, and it was like a mela. And Nivedita started strolling like a lioness. Swamiji used to call her lioness. And she was walking like that. She's a tall lady and bobbed hair. And she had a Rudraksha mala on her neck and a long coat. With that she was walking like a great warrior lady. And then along with her, Nagen has gone. Nagendranath. He was her guide. And he was taken. And she says, no, you can't go there. He says, why? I want to see this mela. Let me go and see. So she just walked. And Nagen has to go behind her, So, and when she went there, she saw a policeman. He had a stick. And with that stick, he started beating the people and making way for Nivedita. An English woman is coming. So policeman has to act immediately. That was the country. You must always think it is not today's India. Today's India, everyone is free. But in those days, in Lahore, that English woman is coming immediately. Who is she? He doesn't know. The policeman doesn't know. She may be the governor's wife, who knows? So immediately he put everyone and beating the people. And Nivedita got wild. She went straight to the policeman and took that and held that stick and said, why are you beating? Well, he was stunned. He couldn't answer. And Nagen, who was with her, he explained to him, the constable, why are you beating the people? She wants to know. I said, I am giving way for her so that she can freely walk and see. So she didn't want that. She wanted to be one among the Indians. Can you imagine? When we Indians from England, when we go to India, and you can see the arrogance among the English living Indians in India, particularly in temples. Some people have told me, also Qutub Minar, you want to go there and see, and there is a queue. And those Qutub Minar people, they can understand who is from India Indians and who is from outside Indians. They know that. So I was talking to that Muslim man. I said, how do you know that? He said, because of their arrogance. And from foreign country, they come to our country, they behave arrogantly. That's what he was telling. So you see that we cannot leave our own arrogance, but see Nivedita. I am only giving as a comparison. I am not blaming all of you. But you see the comparison that she was born in Ireland and brought up in England, grew up as an English woman, she wanted to be one with the Indian population. She did not like to be separate. She said, I don't need anything extra. I want to be with them. And when she shouted at him, then he kept quiet. And Nagen writes later that I was stunned to see the spirit of Nivedita. Her spirit is for India alone. She says, I love India. Not because my guru told me to go and do some seva to India. See why she was loving India so much? She was loving India because these very people, India's Indians, were the deities for my guru. My guru worshipped Indians or India, the country. My guru's worshipful place. My guru worshipped this place. In South Africa, we have a beautiful center. I was there for nearly 8 years. Technically, if you ask me how many days, I would say 7 years, 7 months, 7 days. When I calculated, it came like that, So, South Africa, there was a great Swami Shiva Padanaji. And he had his disciples also. And I heard from his disciple, Swami Sada Prabhananda. I used to hear, he used to make some fun and say, my guru used to tell, at that time, South Africa, nobody can go. Indians were not allowed to go there. in the passport they used to write, because apartheid was being followed there, Indians were not allowed. So, but some ships used to come, business ships, the trading ships. There were some Indians were there. So some news came to Shivapadananji that Indians have come in the ship. And he would call all the devotees, come, let us go in a group and then welcome them. And they would go and they would welcome them. So one person asked Shivapadanji, what is that? These trading ships come and so many nationalities come, and Indians also coming as part of trade. What is there to go and see them and talk to them? He said, what? They are coming from India, from where my Guru came. My Guru went to India and got sannyas from Swami Virajananji, Swami Purushottomananji. He got mantra diksha from Virajananji. My Guru went to India. He returned here as a sannyasi. Do you think India is so cheap? Is it so mean? It is great country. So he used to go. And Swami Sarada used to make it fun. Even if a cat comes from India, it is well attended to. Anything from India is very holy. Such was the feeling of Nivedita for India. Can you imagine? And how much we are not reading at all about her. Only because of the 150th anniversary came, and big efforts are being made by the Ramakrishna Mission, Sarada Mutt, and other organizations. Do you know today, Nivedita's name is everywhere known. How many parks are there in the name of Nivedita? How many schools are there in the name of Nivedita? Plenty. Nivedita's name, streets are there. So Nivedita is becoming more popular now, and our own devotees have their children's name, also Nivedita they give. Recently I went to Zurich. There one of our devotees' child is there. Her name is Nivedita. So Nivedita's name is now becoming more and more popular because we now be able to appreciate her. 150 years before, well, we failed to appreciate her. Even then, I'd say Nivedita was never, she could have easily felt when she was not properly allowed. Can you imagine a lady coming from England giving a lecture on Mother Kali in the Star Theatre? And Dr. Sarkar is in the chair and she is speaking about Mother Kali. One after another she was telling what is the significance of Mother Kali's worship. The audience was stunned. An English woman speaking to her. And he, of course, the president of that place, he disagreed with her in some of the points. And when he started pointing out some defects in the speech, and from the audience, people started raising their slogans against the president. Somehow he was taken out, safely out from the meeting. Otherwise, what would happen, we do not know. And she was again called in Kalighat to speak on Mother Kali. She went and spoke. And what she learned, before she went to speak on Mother Kali, she brought that manuscript. She jotted down the points and she gave to her Guru, Swamiji. And Swami Vivekananda read it. Okay, go ahead and speak. His blessings was there. And she was to tell Indians what is the significance of Mother Kali. Understand that. And with all that, when Dakshineswar temple, she used to take her students for, like nowadays we take the students for picnic or experimentation or external knowledge or something, some word we give and take them to the park, show them the butterflies, all those things. And like that, at that time, she used to take the children to different holy places to tell them what is the tradition of that place. So she took the children to Dakshineswar temple. And that is the Dakshineswar temple where her Guru, as a young boy of 18 years old, sat under the feet of Ramakrishna and learned so many things about spiritual life. And in that temple, where Naren used to go and meditate in the whole of night under the guidance of Ramakrishna, So it had so many associations for Nivedita and with Swamiji there in Dakshineswar and Swamiji's Guru. And there she has taken these Hindu Bengali girls. All the Bengali girls were allowed inside, but not Nivedita. And Sarla Bala, she was one of the students at that time. And later she wrote the life of her impressions about Nivedita. Small booklet. If you have for sale, Maharaj, please give them. Let them purchase that and read that. Small booklet. How she explains. It is so moving. She said, when we stood there and before Mother Kali and we turned and said, our sister is kept at a far distance. And she says, if at all anyone fit to stand before Mother Kali, that was Nivedita, not us. You go, even now today, hundreds and thousands of people visit Dakshineswar, just like a tourist interest. No devotion. If you go to a temple, how much devotion you must have. And there, she saw, she was not allowed inside. She's standing outside and she's praying to Mother Kali. In such a way she was standing there. It brings tears in our eyes. How we couldn't appreciate a lady who came to our country. What a terrible thing. And this Nivedita has inspired many people. On Nivedita yesterday, Swami, our Berlin Swamiji, Swami Baneshanandaji was telling some incidents about Nivedita. Some of the top people at that time who became greatest of the great of in our history, they received so much help from Nivedita. And then they didn't mention about Nivedita. We do not know. Why? It was not they had any intention not to mention Nivedita. It was because Nivedita's sacrifice. She told them, don't acknowledge me. Don't give any credit to me. And she helped them. So much she helped, she was always in the background. Kept herself in the background. Can we do that? Even if you read one chapter and give to you for publication of a book, you want your name to be there in the foreword. And these are the people who have helped me. As a big list comes in the modern books. And here is the lady who saw proofreading of the entire book, 2 volumes of the history of the literature of Bengali language. And she went through and she corrected best English she could give. And she told Dinesh Sen, never put my name anywhere. Can you imagine that? Completely herself becoming zero. I always think, her egolessness is wonderfully equivalent to our Hanumanji in our Ramayana. Hanuman was like that. Egoless. Zero. Ego means how much is? It is zero. You have to say zero. And that zero was Nivedita zero. She never took credit for any of these things. Though because of her, all these people came up. So we have got a great indebtedness, I should tell you, indebtedness to this great lady. It's not merely reading about that. The reading about her will give us courage of her life. She had such a courage. She could go and talk to people. She could go and fight with the people. And she introduced or encouraged people to go for complete independence. With all these things she took, knowing very well, if she had remained in Ramakrishna Mission as a member, would not happen. Because mission does not have any link with politics. And she resigned her post from the mission. And she became independent so that she can carry out her ideas. And her ideas were all inspired by Swamiji. In those days, Anushilan Samiti, the revolutionary group of Indians who worked for India's independence, they said independence is our final goal. Nothing else, less than that we don't want. British suggested, we will give you home rule. We don't want home rule. Only independence, that's all. Then those people, you see, they were all inspired by Nivedita and Swamiji. In many of the revolutions, when they were kept in the jail, slowly they would, from the hidden pocket, they would take out Swamiji's books. And sitting in the jail, they would read them and get more inspired to work for India's independence. Such was Nivedita's. And some of the boys, she gave them refuge at her house. The British are searching for them. She said, stay in my house, quietly. Because if the British police officer, inspector comes, she will go and attend to them. And that fellow will go away, seeing her. Such a great woman, and there are lots and lots of incidents are there. Very inspiring life of that. And I tell you, it took for the Ramakrishna Mission to start a branch, an affiliated center, 150 years after Nivedita. Now we have got a center in Ireland. She was born in Ireland, but we never had any center. And slowly, a Swami from Zimbabwe, he came to Ireland. He started a private center and he started running Ramakrishna, Mother Sarada, Swamiji and Buddha and Jesus. All the pictures he kept. And then he started worshipping. Slowly people started thinking, oh, here's some Ramakrishna, Anugami is there, some follower is there. They started knowing. And then, finally, it was taken over or affiliated by Ramakrishna Mutt, Belur Mutt. It is now a affiliated branch where I was posted as the minister in charge. I came only in the month of, we inaugurated on 17th June 2018. Coming 16th June 2019, we are completing 1 year. So we are having an anniversary function. I came, of course, in the month of December. And then I had just completed 5 months now. But then you see, the center has come now. And it took so many years. That's what why not earlier? The question comes, And there are devotees there. They say, Swamiji, we have been struggling to get this center from the Ramakrishna Mission for years. Whenever we used to go to Belur, we should tell the authorities, please start a center. And I should say, by Swamiji's grace, the center has now come up. And how much great difficulty Swami Purnananda, that is the name of the Swami who is there, who constructed that building, who made it all right and made it a center. And such a wonderful person. He has come to England, many times he has come. He does Kali Puja. He is a white man. He has learned our Puja Paddhati so well. He does Puja in Ila Bose. In her house, he makes a Kali Puja. And he comes here to the ashram also. So and he will be coming here. I would request Ananta Maharaj to give him some chance to speak to the devotees here. Such a wonderful man.
Last, I think 2 months ago he came.
Oh, 2 months ago he came.
Yeah, he gave a speech here.
Oh, he gave a speech. Very good. So you all must know about him. And the center has come up now. And with great difficulty, he created the center. I'm telling you again that please go through Nivedita's life. There are many, many books out there. Take any book and read, and you will see what inspiration you get. Of her writings, if you want to know the multifaceted personality of Swami Vivekananda, the best book is not the life of Swami Vivekananda in 2 volumes. I would say, first, before going to that book, that is very great details it is written. But before going there, just you got a glimpses of the greatness of Swamiji. If you want to have that, read her writing on her Guru. And that is the Master as I saw him. It's a wonderful book.
Absolutely.
Yes. That book must be read first before going into the Swamiji's life. Once you read that, you get the glimpses of Swamiji's greatness. It's such a beautiful book written by Nivedita. So with these few words, I thank once again the Ramakrishna Vedanta Center in London for giving me an opportunity to come to your place and meeting all of you. I felt very happy today because even one of us we had a nice discussion. So there was food for thought as well as food for body. It was very nice. Thank you very much. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.